I've been learning Japanese for years. I even study abroad in Tokyo, but despite all that, I've hit a plateau. I can have everyday conversations, but the moment I need to sound professional, I freeze. So I started wondering, how much could I really improve my business Japanese in just 1 month? 1ヶ月でどのぐらいビジネス日本語が上達できるのか挑戦してみたいと思います。敬語を使って話したり、丁寧なビジネスメールを書いたりできるようになることを目標にします。今回は Preply を初めて使ってみて、その体験を皆さんに紹介していきます。Before I walk you through everything I've learned in the past month, I want to give you my overall impression of Preply. The biggest surprise was how well it matched me with the right tutor. She speaks excellent English, understood exactly what I wanted to improve, and tailored our lessons around my goal of learning business
製品
Japanese.
管理だから、なんか故障してたとかそういう感じ？
What was even more surprising was that I work in a pretty niche industry and she had previously worked in a similar field.
そのセミコンダクターとかがこうアウトボーダーだったり、不具合、something wrong.
That meant she understood the kinds of conversations and emails I deal with at work. So instead of learning generic textbook Japanese, I was practicing language I could actually use. Since I receive emails from some Japanese customers, she helped me refine both my business emails and the way I speak in professional situations. I also really liked how structured our lessons were. Every class had a clear goal. We typically spend about 30 minutes practicing conversation and another 20 minutes learning business Japanese grammar and expressions. For someone with a busy schedule, that balance worked really well because I was improving my speaking while building a stronger foundation. I've tried quite a few different language learning apps over the years. One of the platform I've tried was more of a pay-as-you-go experience. So my schedule wasn't always consistent. I'd book a lesson whenever I had time, which meant weeks would go by without practicing. With Preply, I have the same lesson every week with the same tutor. Once we found a time that worked, I didn't have to keep thinking about scheduling. It simply became part of my weekly routine. That consistency made it much easier to keep learning even when work got busy. I also found it easier to build a stronger relationship with my tutor because we were meeting regularly. Over time, she got to know my strength, the mistakes I tend to make, and the areas I wanted to improve. As a result, every lesson felt more personalized instead of feeling like a fresh start.
けど、まとめまとめますで、まとめますで、こっちの
まとめさせます。Another thing I appreciated was having everything in one place. After each lesson, I had access to my class materials, vocabulary lists, homework, and textbook content, so it was easy to review between sessions. On top of that, I received regular feedback on my speaking and grammar, which helped me focus on the areas that would make the biggest difference. I think one of the biggest reasons I hit a plateau was because I kept using the same vocabulary over and over again. When you're not living in Japan or speaking Japanese every day, it's easy to stay within a comfort zone and only use the words you already know. One thing that really helped during my lessons was having spontaneous conversations. We talked about all kinds of topics from my daily life to work to the weather, current events, and even the economy. Since I never knew exactly what we were going to talk about, I had to think on the spot instead of relying on memorized phrases.
半導体有名だったんだけど、なんか今中国とかに負けてるんだって。
今も有名です。日本の半導体。
はい。なんかね、今週 NVIDIA の CEO が日本に来てて。
One thing I realized is that language classes only work if you show up prepared. In the past, I've taken classes that didn't feel very effective. Looking back, it wasn't because of the teacher, it was because I wasn't doing much outside of the class. Simply attending a lesson is never enough. Most of your progress comes from what you absorb, review, and apply afterward. During my trial lesson on Preply, I didn't just tell my tutor that I want to improve my business Japanese. I also specifically asked for homework after each class so I get to practice between lessons. The homework was always personalized based on how I performed in class. At first, it was fairly simple, making sentences and rewriting business emails that I had actually received at work. As I became more comfortable, the assignments gradually became more challenging. For example, after learning grammar like sasimasu and itadakimasen, I completed exercises that helped me practice conjugating them and using them in different workplace situations. Another huge benefit was getting immediate feedback. I still mix up different verb conjugation groups from time to time, and my tutor would catch those mistakes right away. Having someone explain why something sounds unnatural helped me stop repeating the same errors. So how much did I actually improve after 1 month? Let me show you a few business emails I've written. You'll probably notice that they're not perfect, but they're much more natural and more polite. After 1 month of lessons, I definitely feel more confident in speaking Japanese in professional situations. Before this challenge, I wasn't even sure where to begin. Now I have a clear understanding of keigo, business email adequate, and all kinds of expressions I could use at work. Since I work with Japanese customers, I've also noticed that I understand workplace emails much better than before. I definitely don't think 1 month is enough to master business Japanese, but it was enough to build a strong foundation. If you've been thinking about improving your speaking skills or preparing for Japanese in a professional setting, having a tutor made a much bigger difference than I expected because I had someone to guide me, correct my mistakes, and keep me accountable. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.